Hi, my name is Ray, and this is a behind-the-scenes look at one of the setups I've been putting together. I'm here on one of the Terrace in Budapest running an action camera in the background to capture a time-lapse of me getting everything built and ready. For those who don't know me, I come from a background as a producer and a director in music and TV. In the past, I would have designed a setup like this, but I'd have a separate camera operator handling the gear. Just recently, though, I decided to expand my own toolkit. I've been doing it within podcasts, but now I'm focused on a little bit high-end, more professional stuff. So I invested in a cinema-level camera system. As you can see, I'm starting with a tripod and chairs, messing around with one or two chair setup. Then I'm adding the teleprompter. In my opinion, this is an advantage and should be for most people. Some people are really good at freestyle. Others, including myself, need structure. And a teleprompter really takes the stress out of remembering lines and lets you deliver your message clearly and more confidently. For my teleprompter, I use an iPad mini and set it up vertically. The smaller screen keeps the text column narrow so your eyes don't drift across the lens. Other producers or people in this space might prefer a larger iPad or something like that. But for me, I like it better because instead of looking like you're reading, it makes it look like you're talking directly to the viewer. Under the prompter, I add a monitor, and this lets a person on camera see themselves and lets me check framing, exposure in real time. That small step really builds confidence in my opinion. When people trust how they look, they can focus less on gear and appearance and more on the message. My lighting here is pretty straightforward. The sun is somewhat above behind me, which creates a nice backlight. And then I balance that out with the two LED panels that you see here. But indoors, I'd build a more controlled lighting setup. Audio, the most important part of any setup, is something I never skimp on. I usually run wireless mics, but I also keep a shotgun mic, and when outside, I put a wind cover. People will forgive slightly imperfect visuals, but bad audio, that's a no-go. Now let's talk lenses. My main lens is a 24-105 f2.8. It's versatile, sharp, handles almost anything from wide to medium tight. I also have a 20mm that's perfect for B-roll and smooth gimbal shots. Between those two lenses, I can cover almost anything without overcomplicating the setup. On this particular day, I had a friend sit in so I could test a two-person frame. Even though the camera was set to a lower recording quality for long form, the footage still comes out crisp. I shoot in C-Log 2 because it gives me more flexibility in post, more dynamic range, more control over color. Even with a quick LUT applied, the image holds up beautifully. Talk about phones. Phones today are incredible. I use an iPhone all the time for my social vlogging. Under my personal vlogging brand, Race Edit, if you follow me there, almost everything you see is shot with my iPhone. It's portable, it's quick, and the quality is more than enough for content on the go. I have to stress this, and here's the difference and why having the professional setup was very important to me. My iPhone and my Canon C80 are built for two different purposes. With the C80, I'm shooting in C-Log 2, which means I get true dynamic range. I can pull back highlights, lift shadows, and keep details in places where the phone would just blow out and crush the image. The lenses make a huge difference too. Depth of field, sharpness, clarity, those qualities come from the glass. You'll never get that kind of separation and control from a phone sensor. Then there's motion. Phones can shoot high frame rates, but the compression is very heavy. On my C80, I can shoot in formats that hold up when you slow things down, grade them, or even crop in. The footage still feels like clean and cinematic. Phones don't give you that kind of headroom. And the other thing I was talking about earlier, audio is a big deal. Phones rely on built-in mics and cheap add-ons. I mean, it gets better. I mean, you can buy add-ons that work well with it, but relatively speaking, they're cheaper add-ons, right? But the C80 or cinema cameras in general give me XLR inputs, proper preamps, and the ability to run professional microphones cleanly directly to my camera. That's the difference between good audio and audio that is broadcast ready. So yes, phones have come a long way, and I always use mine for social content. But when I need something, or my clients need something that can stand next to television, documentaries, or even cinema work, no phone could ever compare to the quality of my Canon C80. It's in another class. And that's why I recently expanded my toolkit. This one camera setup is lean enough that I can run it solo, but polished enough to deliver results at the highest standard. Teleprompter for clarity, lights for balance, reliable audio, and the lenses that give me flexibility. All of it working together so the person on camera can not have to worry about the gear and just tell their story. So that's the behind the scenes of my Terrace setup here in Budapest. One camera, a few smart choices, I hope, and the intentions to do it right. Keeping it simple, professional, and ready for anyone out there who has a story they want to share.